Here, we're just going to do a short video to show you how to change a guide on a Scalextric British touring car, BTCC class car. Usually I stage my videos someplace where it's clean and neat, but this is just a quickie. So at my workbench, which is a mess, but this is where all the magic happens. So I'm working today, like I said, on some BTCC cars. This is a Honda that I've been working on. Runs pretty good, and then BMW, significant changes on that. This is just a bone stock Volkswagen Passat. So there's 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. You take them out, lift the body off, and you can see I've added a bunch of weight, and the car still leaves a little bit to be desired on the handling. And I just put a weight in the front, but the braids are so stiff that the wheels still aren't touching the ground yet, which is essential for good handling. So we're going to take that guide off, and we're going to put in something that has a deeper blade. And the way you can tell is if this is, well, there's 3 things with this guide. It's real wobbly. It's not precise. Braids are very stiff, so it's not allowing the front wheels to touch the ground even with weight. And the blade isn't very deep. So I usually put Slot.It deep wood guides on. It's kind of a loaner car. I don't want to waste a lot of good parts. So this is a takeoff from a Fly Porsche 908, which is what I wrote on here. I know where it came from. It's got good grades, so it should be a lot better than what we have going on here. First thing we're going to do is take off the screw that holds the guide on. Take that out, and then the guide comes right out. And here's the 2 wires. We're just going to clip them off. Alright, and then the new guide won't go right on because there's a little bit of a shoulder on the top of the Scalextric guide. Let me just show you. See that there's a little shoulder here, and this is just straight, stick all the way through. And so what they have is a little bit of a recess. I don't know if you can see that with the light. So we need to have it go, same thickness all the way so that this other guide will go in. So, what I usually do is you can measure the thickness of this guide, the diameter, and then get a drill bit that's going to match that to drill through, which, to save time, I pre-staged. So all we're going to do is drill through, clean it out, and then make sure that it fits okay. It does fit okay, but you can see there's a recess here, which is gonna keep the back of the guide. I'm letting that sit flat, so we're gonna need a couple of spacers. Basically, after whatever you're using for a guide, after you drill out this guide hole, make sure that it rotates freely. So if there's any burrs or anything, it's not quite the right size, you can just clean out the opening with your X-Acto, or drill it a little bit bigger. You don't want to go too far, because if you weaken this too much in a hard crash, you're going to bust this off, and then your chassis is no good. So that would pretty much leave you high and dry as far as the car goes. Anyway, what I did was I got a scrap piece of plastic. I use credit card material a lot. just cut it down. This is a little bit thicker, so you can see I drilled the diameter for the post, and then I machined it so that, or I hit it with a Dremel tool so that this sits down flat. And now this will go in the guide, and it's pretty much straight on the bottom of the chassis. So, but the diameter of this post is too small for the hole on the chassis, so also cut a small piece of brass to make the post a little bit thicker. So let's see post. Alright, so now we got good action here. So the way this guide works is there's little rivets that get pushed in from the top, and they hold the braid into the plastic part of the guide. So we got to take these rivets out so we can put the wire in. Okay. And then we got to strip the wires a little bit. So on the yellow, well, on both of them, you can use a tool, but these are so thin, you pretty much do it with your fingernail. So you need enough so that the rivet will go on and a little bit wraps around. So just strip that off. A little more than that. That's probably about right. It's about uniform. Just the wire. Alright. Now we'll put our rivets on there. Okay, put the rivet on. And bend the wire over the end so it doesn't fall off. And the same with the other one. Bend the wire over. Now we want to engage the eyelets back into the guide. So on this one, the yellow was closest to me, the proper rotation. Just put it in there. Little fiddly still. Kind of hard to see. So let's see if we can get this. Alright, you want a nice firm tip. There's one in, and now we gotta get the green one. Screwdriver, push it in, nice and stiff. Alright, and now when you get that in, you want to make sure there's no part of the braid from one side touching the other side, so that's nice and clean. Alright, we're going to put this in here. We're going to bring our wires back so we're not creating a obstruction. Alright, pull that back. Alright, and now we're going to put our screw back in on the top. Alright, I put a magnet on my screwdriver so it's easier to do some of these fiddly little screws. Alright, so anyway, screwing that in. We want to see that it be loose so it works easily. That's a little bind. Loosen it a little bit. Works. Oh, a little tight still. Alright, nice and smooth. Again, make sure these wires aren't going to bind up on you and cause a problem with the guide. Still a little tight. Alright, so it's a little loose. Keep adjusting it until you get it to the point where you like it. Alright. Okay. It has a little side-to-side movement, but it's better than it was. And again, I'm checking my depth gauge. This is slot car corner setup block. The nice thing about this is where the guide goes, it has a recess. And what that's for is it tells you if your guide blade is fully engaged in the slot. So this guide was a little bit up high, and where you want it is to be right at the bottom of this ridge, which is right about where it is now. And you can see now also that when I roll this, the front wheels are on the block. You want all four wheels on the tech block. So I think we're in good place. Get your grades separate a little bit. Check the rotation of the motor. I keep a 9-cell battery, 9-volt battery, and I mark the side for the proper rotation of the car. Alright, so that worked. Alright, so the last thing you're going to do, put your body on. Put your 3 screws in. One, 2. And the third one I'm not going to put in. What I like to do, tighten the screws, and then untighten them like about 1 turn. So these are tight, and untighten it 1 turn. So what we want to have is a little bit of jiggle, which is actually called body float. And we're good to go. So we're ready to try it on the track and see if it's better. Should be better. Should be a lot better because I got a deeper guide. Pretty firm. Fits well. And we have slot cars tonight. So that's a quick overview on how to just change out the guide to improve your performance. If your guide was sticking down beyond this, we should trim it down. And I think we'll do a video on that in another video. So here's one that I just set up a Slot.It Mercedes, and I also put an aftermarket guide in there. This is the Slot.It Deepwood guide, and when I put it on my tech block, you see all 4 wheels. Well, you can't see all 4 at once, but the wheels are touching. And this is proud. It hangs down below the thing. So what you want to do is put it in there. Take a pencil, mark that, and then you can see the pencil mark, and that's how much we want to take off of this. So you can do it on the belt sander, Dremel tool, whatever you have available. But again, like I said, that'll be another video. So thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you out a little bit. Ciao. Okay, Doubl-B here again. The quality of the video was pretty disappointing. I would like to reshoot it, but I can't uncut the wires and I can't undrill the chassis, so I added captions, and I hope that that will help make it a little bit clearer. I shot it with a GoPro type camera because I couldn't remember what I used last time I shot a video, and turns out it certainly wasn't that type of camera, and you know, quality was pretty poor. But this subscript to the video is just to give you some information about the products that I used. Most of this stuff is all that I get it is coming from Slot Car Corner. There's a phone number if you want to call them. They also have a website, which is slotcarcorner.com. And one of the things that I think would be pretty helpful for everybody, especially if you're new to the hobby, is they have a slot car tuning checklist. It's 2 pages, front and back, so 4 full pages of suggestions or things to check out to tune your slot car. And if you run through this and apply them to your car, you'll probably have a much improved car when you're done. But even for the guide, there's 19 items that you can look at, so some of which we covered in the video. If you want to find that, you go to their website, and then on the top row of the website, on the front page, you'll see a button. It says resources, and then there'll be a button for how-to information, and then there'll be a pick for tuning checklist. So check that out. It will be very helpful, most likely. I mean, I've been in this hobby for more than 20 years, and I refer to it from time to time because it is, pretty analytical. It's all set down for you, and you can go item by item and see if you're missing anything, especially if you've got a car that's not running up to your expectations. So some of the other things that I mentioned was this tech plate or setup block, and here's the part number, if you can see that. I probably won't put them in the comments because I don't think I'm going to get that far, but easy enough to check that out at the Slot Car Corner website. The other thing that I mentioned was the Slot.It guide. So that's the Slot.It is the name of the company. The guide part number is CH07. It's a deep wood guide. I think a lot of the listings they use SICH07, but it comes one guide to a bag. It comes with a retaining screw, and they are nice guides to work with. So highly recommend the Slot.It parts. And for a little bit even better value is a Slotting Plus guide, and you can get the part number there. I'm not going to read it, but this one comes with 2 guides to the bag. It comes with the retaining screws, and it comes with the little rivets or eyelets that the wire goes into. And you can see it's a fairly long guide. It has gradations on the front, gradations in the back. I usually cut two sections off in the front and cut 2 sections off on the bottom, because on a plastic track or any track that has tight turns, this long guide will not get through. So Slotting Plus, that's a good part. Again, I get them at Slot Car Corner. And I mentioned that we did have slot cars last night. That's why I was setting up this car for trying to improve the performance, because this is pretty much a stock Scalextric VW Passat BTCC. These are fun cars. The racing is real even. A lot of them we have, long, many laps of door-to-door racing. Great car. If you don't have any Scalextric BTCCs, you definitely should check them out. And so it was much improved on the handling, so that was a good step forward. I'll probably be doing some other mods to this car, so I will bring this back and we'll show you that in the future. So I think that's everything I wanted to wrap up. If you have any questions, you can write them in the comments. If you have suggestions for future videos, put that in the comments, and I'll see what we can do. Thanks for viewing, and